Welcome to this deep dive. We've got a stack of sources here giving us a real peek behind the Bollywood curtain today.
Mm,
We're looking at Houseful 5 and specifically trying to figure out how they pulled off what sounds like, frankly, one of the wildest filming schedules we've seen lately.
that's right. Our mission really is to untangle the logistics and maybe more importantly, the why behind this pretty ambitious production choice. And the big thing that jumps out right away from these sources,
Yeah?
a huge chunk of this movie was shot not in a studio, not really on typical locations, but on a luxury cruise liner.
Okay, hold on. A cruise ship. Let's sit with that.
40 days.
40 days. The whole cast, the crew, mountains of gear all sailing together. Our sources detail this, well, incredible route.
It's quite the trip.
Started in Newcastle, sailed down to Spain, then swung back up towards Normandy, stopped in Honfleur,
Yeah.
that historic harbor town,
Beautiful place.
and then docked back in Plymouth. It's like a floating film set for over a month.
And what's really fascinating looking at the details is how they use the whole journey. The ship wasn't just, a hotel and transport. It was
Right.
basically a moving set piece. But crucially, they weren't just stuck on board.
No, absolutely. The plan, it seems, always involves shooting off the ship, too,
Yeah,
in the actual places they visited.
exactly. Popping into real towns.
Yeah, like you said, shooting right there in Honfleur's harbor, apparently hitting actual beaches in Spain.
Yeah.
So you get this mix, right?
Mm-hmm.
Scenes on the ship decks, interiors, whatever,
Yeah.
cut together with sequences filmed in these real European spots along the way.
Which, immediately brings up the big question the sources touch on, the logistics.
Oh, yeah?
What kind of challenges, what kind of, frankly, nightmares come with using a moving ship and a whole series of quick port stops as your base?
This is where it gets really interesting, reading between the lines.
Yeah.
Forget controlled sets.
Right.
Sources hint at actors dealing with seasickness during rehearsals. I mean, how do you block a big dance number if people are feeling ill?
Yeah, that's tough.
And the schedule pressure. It must have been intense. We hear about arriving somewhere like Honfleur and having just hours,
Like literally hours.
sometimes maybe only 4 or 5 hours, to get everyone and everything off, set up complex shots in public, film it, and get back before the ship leaves.
Wow. That kind of time crunch changes everything. Your whole workflow has to be different.
Totally.
Yeah.
Military precision, probably tons of improvisation needed. Huge pressure.
You lose all the buffers, no waiting for perfect light, no endless takes. The ship's horn is your deadline.
Sounds incredibly stressful. But connecting this back to the bigger picture, the sources paint.
Yeah.
This wasn't just for kicks or just finding a pretty background.
No, exactly. This feels like a calculated move for Bollywood. There's this clear push for more international appeal.
Right?
Films like this, showing off real European location, it's almost like a visual passport for the audience, a travelogue mixed into the comedy.
That makes sense. And it definitely boosts the production value visually. With streaming being so global, maybe relying only on studio sets, even for a big comedy franchise like Houseful, isn't enough to stand out anymore.
Right. Shooting against these real expansive backdrops, it just elevates the whole look, gives it a different scale.
Yeah, a different feel entirely.
Mm-hmm.
So, thinking about you, the listener, when you eventually see this film, what you're getting isn't just the jokes and the plot.
Yeah.
You're potentially getting this kind of chaotic, high-energy, Bollywood-style trip through Europe. The visuals are really part of the package.
It's more experiential, maybe. It feels genuinely bigger visually.
It certainly sounds like it, which kind of leaves us with a provocative thought to chew on, doesn't it?
Go on.
If they manage to pull this off, despite the seasickness and the crazy tight schedules, does this Houseful 5 way of doing things signal a wider trend?
You mean more Bollywood films using this kind of intense real-world travel as part of the actual production?
Yeah, as a core part of the strategy, the storytelling. Are we going to see more films essentially taking us on these global location tours?
It's a big question. The potential is there to really change how these films look and how they're perceived globally. Definitely something to keep